Hey friends, it's my favorite time of the year. I love fall and I love all the pumpkin spice recipes. I've got a couple for you, so let's watch. Don't you love it whenever the leaves start turning colors and the air gets a little bit cooler? It's time for fall, and it's time for all the good fall dishes. All the pumpkin spice that you could ever want. So, I have got 4 amazing pumpkin spice recipes to share with you today. Lots of good food, lots of good pumpkinness going on. So, if you love pumpkin spice as much as I do, then you will love these 4 recipes. So, come on, let's get our ponytails up and let's get to making some amazing pumpkin spice recipes. And today I'm going to make some pumpkin spice latte. I've got some of my homemade pumpkin pie spice, which I'll put in the description below. I've got some sugar, some vanilla, some pumpkin, some milk, and some fresh brewed coffee. And we're going to put all of this in the crock pot and let it heat. It says for 2 to 4 hours. I'm going to let it heat up and get warm. It won't take long to do that. So let me go ahead and get this put in the crock pot. And I'm going to go ahead and add in the coffee. It says 1 cup of strong coffee or 1.5 cups of fresh brewed, which mine did about 2 cups, so that'll work. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of pure pumpkin in here. And get that mixed around a little bit. It's warm, so it should dissipate and get all throughout the actual coffee itself. 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and before I pour the cold milk in, I'm going to go ahead and stir this around, try to get everything melted in. That looks pretty good. Now 2 cups of good cold regular milk. The last thing I need to add is a 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And I'm going to go ahead and stir that around real good. Now, I've got this on high because I kind of want it to go ahead and do its warming quickly so we can have some before we start the rest of our day. I want to get this heated up as quick as possible. And since the coffee was already hot, it shouldn't take long to get it nice and warm. I'm going to put the lid on, and then we'll come back whenever we get some out. And it's been in the crock pot on high for about 1 hour to 1.5 hours, and it's boiling and looks really, really good. I just stirred it. That's what's going round, round, round. I think it's about ready to serve up. So let's get some into a glass. And look at that steam. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of fruit topping on top. And there we go. Crockpot Pumpkin Spice Cafe Latte. You can put a little bit of cinnamon on top if you want to, a little bit of chocolate sprinkle on top, or you can drink it just as is. And here we go. I'm going to take a sip and enjoy because it's that good. And following on the pumpkin spice theme, we are going to be doing a pumpkin dump cake. I've got evaporated milk. I've got some pure pumpkin. I've got a spice cake mix. I've got 3 eggs. I've got some pumpkin pie spice instead of the spice they're calling for because I just think that makes it taste so good. Some sugar and some butter. And you really can't get more easier than that. I've got my 9x13 pan here. And let's start putting everything together. Let's go ahead and start mixing everything in. I'm going to go ahead and put the pumpkin in. And do I have a preference over Libby pumpkin and any other? Kind of. I mean, when it comes to pumpkin, I am kind of a Libby purist. There are very few things I am a purist of, but this seems to be one of them. Don't know why. They all taste pretty good, but there's something about Libby's that I just think tastes better. And there's the pumpkin. And next I'm going to go ahead and add in the can of evaporated milk. I already have my oven preheated at 350 and I've already sprayed my 9x13 pan. So they are ready to go. I just got to get everything minced together. I'm going to go ahead and add in my 3 eggs, my 1 cup of sugar, And instead of 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, I am going to add in pumpkin pie spice. Let me go ahead and whisk this very well. If you want to get out your hand mixer, you can. I would prefer not to dirty up as little as possible. So this whisk does a really great job of incorporating everything really well, and it gives your arm a little workout. So make sure all the egg whites are incorporated really good. And that is ready to go in the pan. I'll go ahead and pour the pumpkin mixture into the baking dish. And get all of the little bits that are in the bowl out, because you know I want all the goodness in the baking dish. There we go. Now I'm going to sprinkle the spice cake mix over top of the pumpkin mixture. Try not to disturb the pumpkin mixture, just a little sprinkle, 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 till you get all of it. Make sure that every bit is covered. And I'm going to use my hand just to simply just float it along, trying to get any of the bigger pieces out of it. You can use a fork, you can use whatever you want to. But for me, my hand can feel the layers of different textures, not textures, but degrees of cake mix. So I can try to get them all in a single layer that's about the even size or the same size all the way around the dish. Okay, that looks really good. I know that some people lay the butter on top and then some people pour the butter on top. I'm a pour the butter on top kind of person. The thing is not to stir and to try to get everything covered in butter, because it's going to make the topping so much better. Okay, so I've got all the butter poured over top. It's time to put the cake in. We're going to put it in 350 for 55 to 60 minutes. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. And here's the pumpkin dump cake after it came out of the oven. Let's get a piece onto a plate. And here it is. And trust me, I done tasted a little bit. It is good. It's thin right now. Maybe I should have put it in a smaller container. But it tastes really good. And that's what we're having for dessert tonight. And let's make us a pumpkin cheesecake. I have got a graham cracker crust already made, a deep dish, 2 blocks of cream cheese, 2 eggs. I need some vanilla, some pumpkin, some sugar. This is pumpkin pie spice. First, I'm going to add in both of the cubes of cream cheese, the sugar, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to whisk this up until it's nice and smooth. And I'm going to add 1 egg at a time and mix well. The recipe calls for adding 1 cup of this mixture to the pie crust and then mixing the rest up together and putting that on top. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put the pumpkin in with the rest of the mixture. Like I said, you can make any recipe your own. Just do it the way you want to do it, because I don't want a separated version. And of course, my pumpkin pie spice. And now I'm going to mix that around. And now that I've got the mixture well incorporated in each other, I'm going to go ahead and take the blades out, and we're going to get them poured into the pie crust. I love these already made graham cracker crust because there's nothing you have to do. I have made a graham cracker crust before many times, but I like simple and easy, so that way you don't have to do a whole lot of work and you can get it done, get it ovened, and get to doing something else so it doesn't take all your time up. There we go. Because I did get a deep dish. I'll go ahead and maneuver this around, and I'm going to put it in the oven. It's already preheated to 325, It says 30 to 40 minutes. I'm gonna check it at 30 and see how it's looking, and then I'll bring you back. And I just got the cheesecake out of the oven. Whenever I shuck it, it's still jiggled a little bit in the middle. Now it's starting to cool down. I will let this completely cool, put it in the fridge, and let it get cold, and then we'll be serving it tomorrow. And here is the pumpkin cheesecake the next day. It's nice, it's cool, and it's ready to be sliced into. All right, and I'm just going to go from side to side and slide straight into it. Oh, and it's firmed up nicely. Oh, this is going to be good. Oh, this is going to be good. And I'm just cutting some pieces that are decent sized, because I don't want a big piece, but I've got to try it. But I know Danny does want a big piece because he loves it. And here it is. Look at that. It looks so good, guys, and it was so easy to make. Oh, and I can't wait to take a taste of it. Let's see how this end tastes. Oh yeah. Pumpkin cheesecake, and so easy to make. Y'all have got to try this. It's so good and so easy. It's definitely a winning recipe. And we're going to be making some world's best pumpkin bread. I've got all the ingredients: some water, pumpkin pie spice, a little bit of salt, baking soda, of course pumpkin, some all-purpose flour, some butter, and 3 cups of sugar. So let's get all this put together. Oh, I got to get out the eggs. I need 4 eggs too. And then we'll have everything together. So let's get to mixing it up. I'm going to go ahead and get all the dry ingredients in the big bowl real quick. This is, of course, all-purpose flour. And here is the sugar. I've got some baking soda, and the pumpkin pie spice, and the salt. I'm going to go ahead and whisk that together real quick to kind of get everything dispersed. You can see it all mixing together. And now it looks like everything is nicely mixed. I'm going to go ahead and do the wet ingredients. And this is the bowl I had the flour in, but I'm going to go ahead and add in my eggs, 4 eggs. Now I've got all 4 eggs in there. I'm going to go ahead and add in the butter. This is 1 cup of melted butter, which is cooled off a little bit so it's not that hot. And I'm also going to add in the water and the can of pumpkin, the star of the show. Now that all the pumpkin's in here, I'm going to go ahead and mix all of these nice wet ingredients up, making sure that the egg is well incorporated so we don't have any issues with this. Oh, and I have already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I've sprayed my pans. So this is getting close to getting mixed into the dry ingredients. I'm just going to add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and mix as I go. There we go. All right. Now, this whisk does a really great job of incorporating both the dry and the wet. And as you can see, you've got to get down to the bottom to get that dry. Now I've got all the mixture mixed up. I'm just going to go around the sides and make sure there's nothing stuck to the sides. And it's looking like I did a really good job mixing. There's no white showing through. Oh, there's a little bit, but not much. So I think I did a really good job. Now it's time to get these into 2 9x5 baking dishes. That is bread baking dishes. I love the thicker ones. They seem to last a lot longer. So let me go ahead and turn you around and show you what I'm doing. I always put my pan onto something. That way the bottoms do not burn. And I'm going to go ahead and divide up half of this into one pan and half into the other. That way they'll be about the same size. So I've gotten both the pans, I'll get you right here, both the pans filled. They're about the same fullness, I think, pretty close. And of course I've used my spatula to smooth out the top. That way when they rise, they'll rise and be pretty instead of too crackly. You know they're going to be crackly anyway, but that's the way they go. But let's go ahead and get these in the oven. It says for 50 minutes. I'm gonna check mine at 45 just to see how they're doing. And it's been 60 minutes and I just got them out of the oven. Oh, they look so good. I'm gonna let them cool down before I get them out of their containers here. And here's what they look like out of the bins. They are a little bit brown on the bottom, but not burnt, but they're a little bit brown. They're looking darker on camera than they are. But they smell amazing. So let me see if I can cut into one. Let's see if I can cut it on the drying rack. Yeah, it's gonna work. I didn't know if it would. There we go. Look at that. That looks really good. Now you know I'm gonna have to take a taste of it because that's just the way it goes here. Mmm. That middle is so soft. Mm-hmm. And it's still warm on the inside. That's good. I do love the crunch on the outside. Like I said, it looks dark, but it's coming across really dark on camera. But it's nice, crispy on the outside. Absolutely soft and moist on the inside. This is a great pumpkin bread. So you've got to try it. They are delicious. Well friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already subscribed, press that button down below and subscribe so you don't miss any of the fun. And let our family be a part of your family.